Yo, what's up? This is the Guys Podcast. I'm Akhtar Muhammad. I got my brother here, Tyree Acosta, Capture Media, another episode. Um, I think when you look at the declining um success in marriage and the approach to marriage in comparison to marriages of the past and how they worked, I think that in current times we need to re-examine what our approach to marriage is, what our expectations um, of marriage should be, and have a deeper understanding um, on what we're getting ourselves into. I think nowadays there's too much emphasis on love, happiness, and having things in common when it comes to why people get married. And I think that the best marriages are forged through boredom. I think the best marriages are monotonous, boring, and you know, the day to day is kind of repetitive. I think that people need to have a healthy understanding that marriage is about duty, responsibility, and once you get married, that's you have to be selfless. It's not about you anymore. It's about both of you together and raising your kids in a two-parent household. You have to ask yourself why are you getting married? And I think nowadays the reason why we see these high divorce rates are people give up, they throw in the towel, they throw in the towel when it's not fun anymore, when they think that when they feel bored, when they just become and this they take on this mental state of shit is boring. I need something new. I need something fun, and then they're not willing to work it out. They think that's going to always be sunshines and fun and happiness. It's not like that. And I think until people start to understand this shit will be boring, this shit will be monotonous, this shit will be repetitive. They won't be any successful marriages. What do you think, Ty?
Um, First, I agree. I had several thoughts and then I was losing thoughts as you were going.
Okay.
But what I would say is that it's a constant need. I don't think it's. I think it's what is it? I think there's a correlation between us having more social media and things like that, and the technology and all of those things, and marriage going down. I think I think it's pretty much been proven at this point. But one of the reasons that it is this constant need for stimulation. Like, so the thing is that people are not even capable of being bored anymore.
Mm.
It's hard for people to be bored now. Before you had no choice. Life was slower. So you had a lot more reflective time, like time to reflect, reflection time. Like you had you just life when life is a slower pace, I think that you're able to deal with monotony a lot better.
Hmm.
I think with this fast-paced world and people just chasing highs, like feeling good and enjoying yourself, and every day needs to feel like a movie and all of these other type of phrases and things like that, people don't realize like um in between a lot of good and pleasant and wonderful days in marriage were just regular days of dad going to work, mom cooking, and sticking to a budget and sticking to this, and like you said, there's monotony. In order to build something, in order to work on, even if you want to talk about working on a craft or working on a skill, it takes repetition. It's you go to the gym to build muscle, it takes repetition. You're doing the same thing the same way each time with the idea of doing and trying to get it better, a little bit better than the last time. But the idea is to perfect your form. So it's like instead of trying to make your life like a movie, why not try to make each of your days like to perfect each one of your boring days, like to master your schedule, to master, like, that's what I would think. And that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, instead of worrying about having the trips to Paris, because everyone thinks of the highlights of relationships and marriage, which is vacations, going out to dinners, or, um, whatever it is that you enjoy, like that's the upside. Those are the highlights of relationships. But what are you doing when you're not doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just go from vacation to dinner to vacate. Like you can't do that. There has to be times where you're working. There has to be times where you're grinding, where you're putting money away for something, or like whatever it is that you're doing. And it's like if you can't build those type of things, you can't have a stable home and all those things unless you be boring. The man that you want to be able to be a provider is a man who's going to do the same thing every day to make sure that he brings home the money. Unless you're dealing with a fucking criminal, like he has to go and like his life is discipline and structure, but then you want him to not be that, or you expect the relationship to not be that, or be able to thrive off of not that. Like the things that you like about him are coming from his consistency. You like a man who's established or who has money, or these are things that are born of consistency and boredom. He had to be bored for hours and hours when you weren't around before you got here, and now you think that you're going to come in and it's going to be all excitement. In order for it to continue, for the ship to go where it needs to be going, it needs to be on the same type of course it came from, which is boredom. So it kind of is true. I don't want to say it like that,
And let's
but
go relationships that work. I know plenty of kids, bro, who grew up um, within successful foundations because all the kids turned out to be straight A students, great jobs, profession, professional, major contributors to society. And sometimes I would go to my friends' houses who had nuclear families, and the parents barely spoke to each other. Sometimes, who gives a fuck? Like, who cares? Like, as long as they're still together, the kids are raised in a two-parent foundation. Um, there's discipline. There's that type of structure that helps push forward uh, a sufficient generation. I think nowadays we prioritize you know happiness, our own personal happiness, and I think that when people are getting into these marriages now, Ty, they don't really want to get married. They don't know the grind of marriage. They just think about the title of marriage. My friends are doing it. I want to do it. That's what I'm supposed to do. It's like buying a house. You want to buy this fucking dream house, but you might have to put work into that house. What if the roof is leaking? You gonna give up the house? What if the sewer system is needs repair? You're gonna just give it up? People want to buy, they want to buy into this idea of something, but no one talks about the work that you have to put in. And I love the analogy you use with the gym. I think you start to really, really mold your body and become the best version of yourself when going to the gym, when you work out on the days you don't want to, when you put in the work on the days that you're most tired or you feel out of it. Those are that's where you gain those mental edges and those mental victories. So I think it's like you said, and like you said with social media, I think it's the illusion of options. Everyone thinks they have more options than what they actually have. And then when you're in a marriage and you might have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, you can go online, you can look at other couples having fun, turning up. You can look at attractive people and think that now they're DMing you, you're talking to them, now you have access to them. And instead of building up your situation, you want to look outside of your situation. So I think, like you said, bro, it's a lot of fucking distractions. Back in the day, people didn't have those distractions. It's the illusion of options. And we all know that those options are not real options. And also too is like a lot of people are not raised in two-parent households, so they don't appreciate marriage. They didn't have a chance to see or to have a situation where that both of their parents were married. They were raised in two-parent households too. So I think that also contributes to why we're failing in terms of creating and sustaining families.
yeah, I had something else to say, but I forgot it. Yeah, you're right.
That's
Shit, it is what it is. Nah,
right.
but it was something good I wanted to add to that. Uh, fuck. Let me get a second. The fuck was I saying again? You said because I'm gonna remember it afterwards. I'm gonna be mad, and that's why I'm like,
It's all right.
But yeah, it's all good. Pretty much what you said. But it's yeah, be you got to be bored. No, what I was saying, what I think I was gonna say is I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying, or like I don't want people to get it wrong. I don't want people to get it twisted. The boring thing is I forgot what I was going to say because I wanted to elaborate more on that part. Like, fuck it, it is what it is.
But
Pretty
yeah,
much,
but
yeah.
the marriage is forged through boredom and monotony, not through happiness and good times. Right. The good times will come. Obviously, you will have highlights, but you shouldn't base your relationship.
Oh, I
You
know the
should
fuck I was going to say.
on happiness and fun. Base your relationship on duty and responsibility for something greater than you. Making sure that your kids are raised in a two-parent household so they can have the best chance to thrive.
That's a fact. What I was going to say was the duty and responsibility part. You would have a better relationship. The things that people understood back then is that relationships were better when you did your job. You didn't have to be friends more than you had to do your job. The reason why relationships, like you said, they didn't barely speak. It's not that they didn't care about each other. It's just that they had more. If you do what you're supposed to do as a man and she does what she does do as a woman, that relationship can go a lot further than if you guys have good chemistry, quote unquote, or y'all best friends or get along. A lot of things is that you're best friends with niggas, but he might not be fulfilling his end of the bargain as a man. And that makes it so that you don't feel like you can fulfill your end of the bargain as a woman, or vice versa. Maybe she's not being the woman that he needs. So when you don't do your job, to see, it's like being able to, it's like, again, everything's like a business. So you have coworkers that you don't like, but they work well. And I work well with this person, but I don't like them. But me and him can get shit done. That's the idea of how it was back then. It was like there's times where I might not even like your father, or there's times where I might not even like your mother. But we know what we're supposed to do to make this family run. I'm supposed to go to work and bring home this money, and she's supposed to you take this money and take the food and cook it. And there was this whole thing. It was a system, and it was like we're gonna do. Even if I don't like you, I'm gonna do my part because this is what needs to get done. And so if you start, if marriage should have more of a business approach, where it's like, all right, I hate you, but this has to. Even if I'm mad at you at the moment, this has to get done. This is the job. It's like your coworker. You gotta. It's not your. You're not. Your wife shouldn't be your friend. She should be your coworker. Your coworker you have to work with regardless. Your friend you get to pick and choose. Like, and that's how you need to look at it. If you was to look at a marriage as something that had to work out, we have to work this out, then you would look at your wife as a coworker. Because regardless, I have to work. I have to work with you
And
because I chose you.
like the best coaches who have the best records and who are coaching some of the best teams have a no nonsense policy. They're unliked a lot of the times. People hate playing for them. Not hate playing for them, but they kind of dread it because they know that coaching mean business and they have a high expectation. Look at Greg Popovich, San Antonio Spurs, one of the most successful coaches of all time. Look at Mike Krzyzewski at Duke, right? Look at Bill Belichick for the Patriots. It's like no nonsense, but the job must be fucking done. Is it pretty? Are you gonna have the most fun playing for Popovich? No. Are you gonna have the most fun playing for Belichick or Mike Krzyzewski? No. But they're fucking winners. Those teams are successful, and I think and that's what hurt the black community. I think in the black community we prioritize our fucking happiness and how we feel. Feelings, my feel, or she's pretty, he's cute, or this and that. But in other cultures where the kids grow up to become more successful, the doctors, the lawyers. If you look at the Nigerians, people from South Asia, right, in India, in the country of India, they prioritize duty and responsibility, and those kids supersede because they have it's based on you know it's different things that need to get done, and they put their feelings and emotions to the side and they get it done. It's dutified, and that's the only way that, especially in the black community, we were gonna obtain success. Is through creating and forging stronger families, through boring fucking marriages with logic in front of your fucking emotions.
That's a fact. Those is balls.
Yeah, bro.
That's all I have to say on that. But yeah, your wife should be your coworker. Stop trying to be friends and be coworkers. Coworkers know how to work together no matter what, and they can produce results no matter what. That's you know what I'm saying. Friends come later. You'll like your. There's times there's gonna be ups and downs. You might
And
not always like.
you'll grow to love that woman or that man after you see their duty towards you and the
Their work ethic, yes, their work ethic to the relationship. You see how committed he is to taking care of his family. You see how committed she is to taking care of her family. When you get to see that, then you start to develop a deeper appreciation for that person. Because you say, no matter what, that person, yeah, how many niggas you be like, I don't like that nigga, but he do his job.
yeah. And guess what? It's results based. It's working for them. So fuck what I'm saying. Who cares what you're saying? You see the current state of black people now and how black people were, how we were during Jim Crow, during segregation, where there were more racism. We had more obstacles, and our communities were thriving. The state of black people as a whole was better because we prioritized family. We were married more. We had more two-parent households. And if you look at families right now in other cultures, other races, and how they prioritize family and look at their success rate comparison to Black America. I mean, the
and,
result.
and and compare to romance, because if you want to argue, a lot of those relationships that you see where kids are thriving, there may not be a whole lot of romance.
It's not, but it works.
Like but it works. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of romance. Dad is not necessarily the smoothest talker, and mom, like, they might not have, but he understood what he's supposed to do, and he does what he's supposed to do as far as taking care of the home and the house and all of that, and the romance will come later. There's women who've been with men that this motherfucker ain't smiling years, but he do what he the fuck he supposed to do.
Facts.
I'm not saying that is the best scenario, but I'm saying that you'll have a way better and more fruitful relationship doing your job than trying to be friends.
Even when you're eating for a purpose, you're not eating these exotic foods. You're eating the same foods every day. You're watching your calories. You're eating with a purpose. You're eating like with a duty in mind, right? You're not eating the fun, sugary, colorful, artificial foods. You're eating a sustainable, healthy diet that's boring, but it works. Everything,
Yeah,
everything is like that, bro. Put your head down, get to work, accomplish something. That's it.
big facts.
The topic: successful marriages are forged through boredom. Until next time, the Guys Podcast. My brother Tyree Acosta, Akhtar Muhammad, Capture Media. We out.
Peace.